I think grass has grown faster than that. Oh my god. Ah,
I'm gonna try not to step
It
on
wasn't.
any
I
more
didn't get a
cords.
new link. I never got a new Gmail. I never got a new Gmail.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I checked my Gmail all the time. There was no new Gmail. I didn't get a new Gmail.
I've never else did you do it? Really?
I didn't get a new. I didn't get a new Gmail
Really? You haven't been checking?
Yeah, I checked it. I checked it every day.
Did everybody hear the music?
Oh, I can hear you guys now. Holy shit.
Did anyone hear the Rocky music?
No.
No.
So I still don't have my music on.
I can hear you guys know that now, though. That's good.
No, that's good.
All right. So
I was showing Ryan I found this.
Did you guys like all my? Did you like all my my things? I think I'm gonna do. I think I should do the show like this. Let me know what you think.
I like the
I think
pirate
this one-
head.
You think the pirate one's the best?
Yeah, you missed it. September 19th was Talk Like a Pirate Day.
If I was going with the Buccaneers, I would totally sit there.
That's pretty cool how you do that. How do
There's
you
a-
do that? Yo, how
There's
do
a
you?
filter. There's filters on part of this system. You click on options, and it gives you filters to have different backgrounds or stuff on your head or whatever. It's all here.
Do you have to be on your computer? Can you do it from your phone, or do you have to be on your
Well,
computer?
someone could probably figure it out from their phone, but considering it's you, you probably couldn't do it.
Yeah, I probably can't figure this shit out.
There's a little button
All right.
that buttons, 3 little dots.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
All right. Tell me if you can hear the music. Hang on.
That's all right. Here we go. This is good for us.
All right. Let's
Okay.
go. One pick wonders.
Shut that cunt's mouth or I'll come over there and fuck start her head.
That's what you should hear.
One pick wonders. Let's go. Week 3, right?
Yep.
I was gonna play Fiddler on the Roof Matchmaker for Dan, but now I'm all pissed off because my sound doesn't work. So
Well, good. That's an awful song anyway.
that's something to look forward to next week. Okay.
Can you play it? I was
Well,
a fan instead.
All right, let's go with the picks. We have on the top right BKO, the sports betting guru, who is in. Is he officially in last place? Yeah, I think he is.
Technically.
Myself, the producer, in second to last place. On the bottom left, Ryan the Office Robinson in second place, and on the top left, Danny D, the 5 head of knowledge, in first place. So we're going to start with the last place, BKO. So far this season on your Bob picks, which are bet opposite Brian, you're 2-0. You're 2-0 so far this season. So let's hear it from the sports betting guru for week 3.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs -5.5. They're playing at the Colts. Some nuggets. I know my brother. He always talks about the experts when he goes to where the money is. He likes it over 60%. So when I went to covers.com, the public is at 75% in favor of the Chiefs, and the experts are also at 75% in favor of the Chiefs. So I thought I'd throw that out there for my brother because he said he'll never bet unless the experts are above 60%. So it's at 75% for the Chiefs. Another little nugget is Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator for the Colts, and he was a defensive coordinator for the Raiders last year. And Pat Mahomes had his 2 best games last year against the Raiders and Gus Bradley's defense. And also, Mahomes statistically does not do very well against the cover two prevent defense with the shell. And Gus Bradley does not play that. He plays cover one with one deep, and he plays a lot of man. And Mahomes dices that kind of defense up. I think he's going to have a big game. I actually think Mahomes is better without Tyreek Hill because he doesn't have to depend on him and look to him. He's become more of a quarterback. He spreads the ball around. I think he's looked unbelievable. People say that Josh Allen right now is playing out of his mind. I think the only difference is Josh Allen can run, and Mahomes doesn't really run like that. But I think as far as a pure pocket passer right now, I think Mahomes is better than Allen, just sitting back and picking defenses apart. And Andy Reid's clever. He's going to have something up his sleeve. Also, the Colts are without their best player, the defensive player, Leonard, again this week. And the Chiefs are healthy. The only guy they're missing is Gay. He's got suspended, the linebacker. It's 5.5. I like it. I told Dan that if it moved to 7, it's a little dicey, but I like 5.5 as a spread because a lot of games are decided by 6 or 7 points. I like that pick. As my brother used to say, it's low-hanging fruit. A lot of people are taking the Chiefs. So that is my pick for week 3.
And the Chiefs have had an extra few days off because they played on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And the Colts really haven't done that much. I mean, I actually like the pick. I think Bob might actually lose this week.
All right.
Yeah, the Colts stink. I mean, I don't care if it's their home opener. I don't care that Pittman and Pierce are back. Matt Ryan shot. And, that defense got diced up by Jacksonville last week. What's Mahomes going to do? And Andy Reid.
No, I agree. I think that's a good pick. I think Bob, wait till you see Bob in this week's TikTok.
Woohoo!
You might like there's a little bit of a change coming with Bob this week.
I think Bob needs a place in the standings.
He does, but not officially, but you'll see it. Wait till you see it. It's coming. Just trying to figure out a song.
Hey, man, you know what they say? Bad pub is better than no pub, man.
Right. Ask our former president about that. He loves it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, if people start watching the show for the Bob, that's fine, man. If that brings in the viewers.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll go on the late shows, man. Stephen Colbert. I'll go on the late shows. Be famous for the Bob, man.
Johnny Carson,
Right.
Jack Parr.
What was the guy? What was the HBO guy? He was funny.
That's not
Remember
Bill
him?
Maher, is it?
Who?
Not
Remember the old?
Maher?
What
No,
was it? Shandling?
Larry Sandling? He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he had that was such an awful late night show, man. He was terrible.
It was a joke. It wasn't a real show. It was playing a character. It was a comedy. You didn't know that?
I do now.
Oh my.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why the Bob is so popular.
It was called the Larry
I'm not a
Sanders
Gary
Show.
Shandling expert. What the fuck, dude?
It's called the Larry Sanders Show.
He interviewed celebrities. It was a
I know,
late
but it
night.
was fake. It was him and Rip Torn.
Yeah, it was a real late night show.
No, it wasn't. It was a joke. It was a.
He had real celebrities on. He had real celebrities on the show asking
He's
questions.
actors.
It's all part of the shtick.
Oh my god! Wow. No wonder you couldn't click on a link to join the show. Man.
Hey, my brother took 20. Listen, my
Wait a
brother
minute.
took 20 minutes to figure out how to
Wait
fucking
a
hit the
minute. Wait a
replay
minute,
button.
Scott. How did this happen?
Well, it's a very short story. Okay. So BKO is a mama's boy. Okay. So he just wasn't made to go out and fight for the American Army or something like that. Okay, he wants to sit on a park bench and read books. Okay. and feed
What
the
does
with
that have
pigeons.
to do with Larry
And feed the
Sanders?
pigeons.
What does that have to do with the Larry Sanders show?
We're just
thought-
asking what in your development.
I thought you were gonna say like I was dropped on my head as a baby or
I was
something.
going to say, I think Scott dropped you on your head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say.
I'm just saying you want to sit in the park, read books, and feed the pigeons.
No, he feeds the pigeons at home in the private.
Yeah, that's right. He hides the food in a very special place.
That's right.
But no, I think Brian is a smart guy. It's just that he's like me and our other brother and sister, that he takes 0% guidance from any fucking body. Okay, so that's the challenge he faces. You can tell him whatever you want to tell him. He's not gonna do what you recommend. So this is why you have.
Still don't know what that has to do with not knowing the Larry Sanders show, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes how it makes you think that Larry Sanders show was real.
Yeah, I thought he was, like I said, I thought he was going to say that I got dropped on my head as a kid or something.
Why would I say that? Nobody dropped you on your head.
He got hit in the head with a football or something, like he did at the beach.
No, I still don't think, it's not as bad. I don't think it's as bad as the time that I was leaving Dan's house. I was walking to the train, and I couldn't find it, and I called Dan, and I said, Dan, where's the train stop? And he said, turn around. So I turned around and it was right there. I think that was my favorite story.
That was so funny.
Like, turn around.
asked him, I said, what streets are you on? He's like, oh, I'm at Broad and Tasker. I said, okay, why don't you just turn around behind you? And it was right there.
It was right there when I turned around behind me. That was my favorite story.
That was
Sofa
funny.
King. That was my favorite Sofa King story.
No, I was fed a softball to try to put down my brother, and I miserably failed. So
You did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You miserably. You
but
started
I
rambling.
tried. I
You were
tried.
rambling about some weird. You were rambling about me being in the park with pigeons, man.
I know. I tried though. I honestly tried. So I have a great pick for this week. I'm picking the Bills. The Bills Mafia. And I'm getting some pushback from my fellow panel members here on One Pick Wonders, who are Dan. Do you remember last week with your Jags pick where we all told you you're gonna lose?
Mm-hmm. You all laughed at me.
How do you think I feel this week with my Bills pick? Everybody's pushing back on me when we know that the Dolphins gave up all these points last week against Baltimore, and all Baltimore can do is run the fucking ball. They can't even pass.
300.
And
They threw for-
look at how many points.
But didn't he throw for like 350 yards in that
He
game?
did. He threw for over 300 yards and ran for over 100.
But we know all Baltimore can really do is run the ball, okay? And they gave up all these, and Miami gave up all these points last week against Baltimore, okay? So when you look at when you look at the matchups, and the Bills are multi-dimensional, where they can pass, they can run, and you're gonna put Tua up against Josh Allen at a 5.5. That should be more like a 17.5. You're putting Tua against Josh Allen.
The Bills were without 4 defensive starters,
Yeah.
so Tua's not going to be. They're not going to be out of it. I mean,
I
I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but
I think the Bills are going to win. I just think it might be a BOS.
It's less than a touchdown.
no, I think it's a good pick. I just think it's going to be a high-scoring
know.
game.
It's going to be tough. And look, trust me, I'm rooting for the Bills this year. I already put money on them to win the Super Bowl, but I don't know. Without especially without like Micah Hyde in the secondary. I think that's gonna hurt them a
Well,
little bit.
when
They're
you
down
look
2 corners too.
when you look at what Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen did to whoever they played
Tennessee.
on, Tennessee on Monday night, that Stephon Diggs had more yards than the entire Tennessee team. Okay.
But Good.
So-
You're gonna like our you're gonna like my picture for the video today. Then
I just think it could be a high-scoring game, but I do believe the Bills will win. I mean, it could be like 42-27 or something.
yeah, it's a tough cover. With I get
No,
nervous.
it's
with
it's
the
going to be
guys doing that.
Bills 38 and Dolphins 20. That's going to be the final score, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna bet that score, but
38 to 20. Yeah.
I'll bet that score right now. Let's see if it's available.
It probably is. Might get a good payoff if that holds.
Well, I did that in the Super Bowl and it paid off pretty good. So let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tua is making questionable decisions already this season. So the Buffalo defense is going to capitalize on that. Their defense has allowed 17 points through 2 weeks, forcing 7 turnovers. They and this Titans running back, who's the big guy on the Titans? I mean, he didn't do jack shit.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, thank you. They shut
Eddie
him
Jordan.
down. So we're talking
they-
about the Bills' defense, but they just shut.
Sure,
Henry
but all
down.
those guys got hurt during the course of that game that are not going to be available on Sunday. That's all. I just think it's going to be high scoring, but I like the pick. I think the Bills can cover 5.5.
The Office, Ryan. Let's have your pick. Week 3 NFL.
So I am-
You are 1-1 right now.
Yeah, I would like to apologize to anybody who bet with me last week. That was a absolute freaking disaster.
I warned you.
I know.
Dan did, and he's on tape. too.
Don't look at the goddamn numbers. That's what I learned. So for this week, I learned don't look at the numbers, because if you look at the numbers on this game, you're gonna say I'm dumb. But you've got to take a look at who each team has played. I am taking the Los Angeles Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions, minus 3.5 over the Arizona Cardinals. You look at the numbers, and the numbers aren't really that much in favor, like between offense, defense, between the two teams. But Arizona, they got lucky last week. I mean, they scored a last touchdown and 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter to tie the game, and then they won when I'm going to pronounce. I think it's Byron Murphy picked up a fumble and ran it back to clinch the game for them against the Raiders. So a lot of luck involved there. Whereas the Rams, we've already talked about the Bills. The Rams opening game was against the Bills, and the Bills are, like I said, I already bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. I think they are the most complete team when healthy in the NFL. They're just not healthy this week. It's why I am concerned with Scott's pick. But the Rams, I think, are just going to get better and better every week. I mean, I think if they were to go out and re-sign Odell Beckham, I think they'd be even more dangerous. Like, I know there are been a lot of stuff out there linking Odell to the Bills. The Bills don't need Odell Beckham Jr. The Rams could use him. They need a second guy beyond Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods signed with who did he sign with? Tennessee. Yeah, like they need a guy. They needed a guy like him.
Was it Detroit or that's right, Tennessee?
Yeah. They need another guy like Robert Woods or Odell. They can catch the ball.
They have Allen Robinson.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would just like to say I like Allen Robinson, but he can jump on the Jerry bus to hell for all.
How can you say that about your cousin?
I'm sorry. It just is what it is. You can't give up on your team like you did. with the Bears.
Doesn't Sean McVay always win in Arizona? Did you have some great record there?
I think he does. I would love to look up his record, but again, I wanted to stay away from the numbers because of how shitty the numbers treated me last week. So it's only 3.5, it's 3.5. So it's not a bad line, and I just think that I think that the Cardinals right now, it's a division game too, isn't it? So it'll be close. 3.5 isn't that bad. I do think that the Rams will end up winning by like more than a touchdown. Don't quote me on that, but you can next week if I lose. You can make fun of me if I lose 2 in a row. It is in Arizona at whatever their stadium is called these days, because it's going to be 102 degrees outside, so it won't be that bad, is it?
Called
State Farm Stadium.
Yeah.
Discount double check. State Farm can go to hell. If you knew
The Cardinals are 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 home games.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
their defense stinks too.
I think you know what? I don't think they have good defensive parts. Like I have several of them on my one fantasy league team, and they put up good stats like tackle wise and sacks and passes defended and all that good stuff. So I think they have good players. I think they're hurting right now. What's his name's out for how many games? 4 games. Hopkins.
Yeah.
So they're missing him. So that'll change their game. Their game planning once they get him back. So maybe later in the season when they play, maybe I go the other way. But right now with what they've got, I'm going with the Rams -3.5.
Sean McVay is 9-1 against the Cardinals, and he's undefeated in Arizona.
There we go. There you go. Dan
Yeah,
just jinxed me with a bunch of stats, but I again, the numbers don't lie. They really don't. The overall, real numbers like that. So bet heavy, bet with Scott's money, bet with Brian's money. Probably don't bet with Dan's money. Dan's got too much money to bet with.
Yeah, right.
So you don't want to gamble that much money, but it's a good bet. It's a good bet this week. If they don't win, Brian will wear a dress on the next show.
No. On the next show, if Ryan doesn't win, Dan will have to apply to the 90-day fiance show.
Yeah, good luck with that. Dom DeLuise wore a dress in a movie once. It'd be perfect. Especially with that hat. You wore a white hat like that.
Just so you know, Bri, we went out to dinner tonight. I digress for a second. We went out to dinner tonight, and at this place in Montgomeryville, and Summer's like, "Oh my God, look at that guy! He looks like Brian. He just has a little bit more hair. That's all." He had the same, but she's like, "Look, I think it's the jawline." I said, "Oh, the Tom Cruise jawline."
Tom Cruise jawline.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Well, the reason I'm
right.
the reason I'm posting
I
Dan
forgot I said that. That's funny.
the reason I'm posting Dan up to 90-day fiance is because you have to get the K1 visa and do some video chats or video conferencing, and then you have to go over and show the gal a good time in her home country. And I don't think the Buru can pull that off, but I know Dan can. You could do some video, some FaceTime, and get the K1 visa, and then go over there and wine and dine her, show her a good time.
Oh no! What I can do is I can have my cousin go scout it out. Who lives there?
Exactly. This is all part of the show. Exactly. This is all part of the show.
Yeah, and for the ladies, Dan speaks French.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
We
anyway, my pick this week is I'm picking the Ravens -2.5 at the Patriots.
Deflection.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's enough of Brian wearing a dress talk too. We're gonna go
I
back
can
to
deflect that.
Interference.
Or as Brian calls it, obstruction.
I was going to say obstruction.
5 head of knowledge is being called for interference.
But anyway, what's it called? As Scott mentioned, the Ravens put up a lot of points last week, and as Scott mentioned, the Ravens' defense is terrible. But New England has a terrible offense. It's the least points they've scored in the first 2 games in 21 years. They have nobody. I mean, who do they have that scares anyone on offense? I mean, Brian and I used to complain about this with the Eagles, that the teams used to play with an 8-man front and just dare the Eagles to throw deep, and they couldn't because they had nobody there. They're just, as Brian likes to say, jam the receivers at the line which is what they really did, and then they would be stuck, and then they couldn't do anything. The tight ends are okay on New England, but I don't think they really throw it to the running backs, who aren't the best group. And the receivers stink. When you're led by Nelson Aguilar, you have a big problem. What's his name? I don't think Parker's done anything really in 2 games.
Yeah, he's been a no-show.
Yeah, right. As Brian mentioned, they have a defensive coordinator running their offense. I don't know how that works when you have 2 incompetent head coaches, failed head coaches running your offense. And I don't see how 2 guys can do the job. But whatever. I just don't see it. I mean, I think they might be slightly more successful against Baltimore's defense, but I think they're going to get some guys back this week. They signed Brian's favorite guy, Jason Pierre-Paul, and his missing fingers. He's on the team now. I'm not sure if he's in shape to play. But I just think that the defense for New England is not going to hold up against Lamar Jackson and Andrews and Bateman and the rest of the gang that they have there. They have been throwing a lot more, contrary to what Scott said, because J.K. Dobbins has been out and Drake stinks. So they have had to throw. I think they had 200-yard receivers last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think Bateman and Andrews both went over 100 yards last week. So they can throw, and they're going to throw that defense. That defense has not played very well the first 2 games. They barely won in Pittsburgh, and that defense is impotent, as we saw yesterday with the great Mitch Trubisky at the helm. I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with Baltimore. I think they're going to score too many points, and New England can't. They just can't do it. The only way that they can make it close, even, is if, to use a Brianism, is if a bunch of stuff that doesn't normally happens. Like you see a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of fumbles, and stuff like that. Some crazy special teams plays. Because they just can't manufacture the offense in order to keep up with the other team. I mean, I looked it up, and Bill Belichick has these amazing numbers when they're underdog at home. But that's probably all under Tom Brady, who's not there anymore. He's not walking through that door. And they have no guy that kept him anymore who's not there. So, and, and it's a low spread. I mean, it might be a close game, but all Baltimore's do is win by field goal, and it covers. So I think they win by more than that. I think
somebody just called me in and wanted to talk about your pick really quick about some of the players on New England. So give me 1 second while I put them on speakerphone.
And was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar. His mishap. I like to put that.
That's great. I love that guy. He killed Aguilar after a fire. This guy's a hero. He takes on the Rip Aguilar.
Yeah, I should tell the audience though. I did put the Bob Hex on Dan and Ryan's pick because I like those picks. So I might have put the Hex.
I disagree because you like my pick week 1. You said I stole it from you, and so that technically had a Bob Hex on it. So that's the one.
I was actually it's like the thing about Dan's pick. I was actually it was I kind of flipped a coin in my head between my pick and Dan's pick.
Yeah, so, I was going to do Dan's pick too, and then I decided to do the Chiefs pick.
I like it. I mean,
I like the Chiefs pick too.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to bet the 4-game parlay, but I may also bet a 3-game parlay, just because again I'm nervous about that Bills coverage.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm definitely going to bet the 3 because I've been doing some parlays. I've been doing some good on some like weird parlays. I'm staying even because I won $40 on parlays involving the Bills last week. So I won a parlay the other night, by the way, with the Browns and the Steelers. They have some weird same game parlays that they pre-picked ones, and I bet a couple bucks on them. Like Cleveland win by five or more. Jacoby Brisket having 175 yards or more. I know his name's Brissett. Amari Cooper 40+ yards and Nick Chubb 80+ rushing yards.
Nice.
I bet threw $2 down. I won $12.50.
Nice.
Fun, stupid stuff, But
yeah.
The Bills game last week, I won. Like I said, I won $40 on parlays. So
yeah. Speaking of parlays, I have a guest that we could have on the show that likes his parlays. His name is John McBride. We could have him. Me and Dan every day.
Every Monday.
John McBride calls us and tells us about his fucking parlays. It doesn't matter. It could be NASCAR. It could be golf. Me and Dan call it getting McBrided.
Yeah, every Monday. Oh, you never believe what happened.
I was one game away from winning $5,000.
Yeah, right. Every time. Oh, I was 1 second away from this, but the guy needed to throw for 300 yards. He threw for 299. Oh, and it's like,
Yeah, Matt Stafford missing 277 and a half yards by 6 killed my big parlay last week.
ah. Yeah, well, he threw enough for me.
Everything because I did a big parlay, a 12-leg parlay. And
Oh, wow.
that would have paid out a ton of money without a lot of money down.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know. I just remember one time last year. I don't remember what week it was. McBride came into my office and he did a 16-game parlay and he missed it by one game. He bet $2. He said he would have won like $2,000, and he said he missed by one game. I was like, okay, John.
Yeah, I did a 12-leg. I would have won over $7,000.
Wow.
It
Wow.
is what it is.
I might do.
Oh,
I did a
that's so
7-game.
frustrating.
Well,
I
but it
did
was
the same
the
game
nice
last-
thing is it was in the middle section because there was a 1 o'clock, there was a 4-parter in the 1 o'clock games, 4-parter in the 4 o'clock, and then 4-parter in the Monday night. So I lost it at 1 o'clock, but when you look back at it, it's like you missed it. You missed one.
Yeah.
I had one last week. I had a seven game parlay. I missed most of my games, and this week I have a 7-game parlay. So hopefully I do better this week.
I
Well,
was
I had-
thinking of doing a parlay like that, but I don't like some of the games this week. They're just
No, that's
Yeah.
why I do. Take a look at the DraftKings or even FanDuel Sportsbook. They have some pre-made parlays that, like, sometimes they say, "Oh, bet $10, win this amount of money." You don't have to bet $10. You can pick them and bet like $2 on them. You know what I mean? Like, I do that for fun because it's not a lot of money, and like, I know some people want to make a lot of money doing this gambling stuff. I would love to, and I do some ones where I make big numbers. But I do pretty well by doing like $2 and $3 on some of these crazy parlays, and like I said, I bet like $6 and I won $40 on those Bills parlays last week. So the parlays are fun.
I have a 7-game. I put $10 on it. I have a 7-game parlay that's going to pay out $120. So $10.
yeah, but
But that's just
170.
games. That's just games, though, right?
Yeah, it's games. It's all games.
you have to realize that in terms of professional betting, nobody is getting rich off of parlays. Now, it's better than the
I disagree with that.
it's better than the Powerball or the Mega Millions. Your odds are better, but nobody's getting rich off of parlays.
That's not true. They have these things that come out with DraftKings. Some guys bet like $10, and what did he win? Some guy last year won like $750,000 on a
Yeah.
parlay.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay,
do
that's
those every
all.
once in
That's
a while.
all the money you're going to make ever in your life. $750,000. Okay, that's not $100 million lottery ticket.
There are people that bet crazy numbers, but yeah,
There's not professionals that are betting
No.
parlays.
Not like that.
A professional bettor would not bet a parlay.
Well,
They
what
know
is-
the
what
odds
is-
are against you. The odds are against you.
Well,
You're not
what-
gonna
they
win a
do say
parlay.
a parlay is a sucker's bet, but
Exactly.
I still like
Oh.
them.
Excuse me, John McBride is an expert bettor. Okay, I
But,
just
but
let you-
a sucker can win. We can always say the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
But you know who's winning parlays is the
the
house.
casino. Yeah,
The house is winning the parlays. It's not
They
the
are.
bettors. The bettors aren't winning parlays.
they are.
Yeah.
In
It's
terms
rare
of
when you see something like that.
in terms of professional betting, like with the opening up of the sports books, the people that are winning are the people that go on to the DraftKings and the FanDuel, and they bet hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, and they pick multiple times, different scenarios. They know they can't cover down on everything, but right, that's who's winning. It's institutional bettors that are going in there and they're betting hundreds of thousands of dollars on multiple scenarios.
Well,
It's under
it's like the
multiple
same.
accounts, right?
It's
That's
like the
who's
same
winning.
guys. Yeah, the same guys that are winning the big numbers on daily fantasy stuff.
Mhm.
You see that they're like really into it, and all the big, like, if you put, like, I play the cheap ones. I play the nickel, quarter, or 50 cent, and dollar ones. every once in a while I'll get a free one. Like I got a free one that ended up being like a $9 entry, and I won like $14 on it. But that's but that's like again, I wouldn't pay $9 for an entry. But you see these people that are paying thousands of dollars and they're winning like millions of dollars on daily fantasy. They're putting multiple entries in, but they're making money off them because they're like
Right.
they're hedging almost. You might see one, but they're hedging their bets. You don't know how much they're losing.
Well, these
You know
guys,
what I
they
mean?
did a documentary on those guys a few years ago, and how a lot of them were economics and finance majors in college, and they're able to find the algorithm, and they use a system to create those lineups based on the matchups for each particular day. So they're putting hundreds of lineups. or
Yeah,
whatever
Scott,
it is,
come on, get your ass together, man.
Yep.
And I
They're
think
doing.
We need to make
FanDuel,
some money. I got to pay for a kid to go to college next year. We need to make some real money.
That's right, baby. That's right.
But they can scrap for all that dough, and they do win because they're institutional bettors. But then there's the guy that says, "Hey, I'm gonna bet $1 million on the Super Bowl," and wins too. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Before we have to get off,
10 minutes of work. So
I made a pick. I made a bet gambling that Justin Herbert's not going to play or not play the whole game. I bet it early, +7, Jags +7 before the line changes in case he gets ruled out.
I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think he does either, but I bet it. Jags +7, baby.
Former Eagle great Chase Daniel might start that game.
That's what I'm thinking. Seriously. So bet it quick. Bet it before that line changes.
The line already changed because they said
Really?
that Herbert's a true game time decision.
What's
So I
it
think
at
the line
now
went
then?
down to like 3.5 or something.
Really? Wow.
I bet
Yeah.
it. I bet it. So I guess I did a good job betting it at 7.
You
Yes.
locked it in at 7.
I did.
Yes. I was
Yeah,
thinking
it's
about that earlier. Whoever locked that in at +7.
I
made a
locked
very
it in
smart
yesterday. I
decision.
did it yesterday at lunch. I was bored.
Yeah, you know what sucks too is I have Keenan Allen in one of my fantasy leagues, and if it's fucking Chase Daniel throwing him the ball, man, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
all right. Good luck, fellas. I'll see you
All right,
next
see you-
week.
see you next
One pick
week.
wonders.
See you next
All right,
week.
See you later, guys.